What's on?
Hello.
That's the least energy.
Wait, I'll do it again.
Start again. Jowan, slap him.
Hello. There you go. That felt better. Welcome to the Monday board meeting, given to you on Tuesdays, because that's how we roll. Been a good week.
Yeah.
Sick.
All round.
Yeah.
We've
That was
had
one of the
waves.
best weekends. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really good.
I'm trying to just before we go straight into the weekend, I was trying to think about the rest of the week and what happened surf wise.
I think it was pretty shit. Like we were all chasing scraps for most of the week, so it was just
chasing scraps.
Yeah.
That is, yes. Go on, you go first. Go on, see, mate, my memory's shot. You go first.
The weekend was epic, which we'll get to basically,
Yeah.
and then like the week before, chasing scraps. But I think you guys did score one morning a
Yeah.
peach though, which is what you were.
We
alluding
did
to.
surf a very good surf.
Yeah.
We had a very lucky morning.
You were like best surf ever.
It's the best surf I've had down there for. I mean, every time it's good down there, I have a good surf. So you always be like, it's the best ever. But that was. I'll create the whole scene. We were talking about going for a surf,
Yeah.
and I think we were like half thinking about filming. But it was a bit drizzly. You know, it was a hit and miss thing. We were like, let's just go fish trawl, go for a surf, there's waves. And then like as we were getting ready in the morning, I suddenly thought to myself, hold on, tide, everything is working in the favour of one of our favourite spots being on, but it will be a road call because it could have been too big for it. So at the same time we were surfing that wave, I know other people went to one of the tucked away corners and had a good surf. So it showed you how well it was holding as well. And we could have got there and just paddled for hours. But it turns out we got there, it was on a bank, and no one else had thought about it. Everyone else had gone, it's going to be too big.
Those are the days. Those are the moments.
And maybe the tides were slightly wrong, but because the tides were so small, the tidal pressures were far less. So it just literally it was going half an hour on, half an hour off, half an hour on, half an hour off as it pulled through the banks. And we ended up getting, we took Jackson and his friend. Shout out Frank Dog because he was ripping. Me and Jowan, and there was maybe two other guys out there, and we scored just right hand perfection for about 3 hours. I think we stayed in, didn't we? I was done.
It felt like the first proper taste of September. I thought you could kind of feel it in the water.
It's a bit of
like
power and
kind of tiny but chilly.
Yeah. You start feeling that like you get a little shiver. You're like, oh, there it is.
Mornings,
yeah. It's time when it's now this time of year where you start noticing when you put your old summer suit on that's dry, it's like, actually I should have put the new one that's wet because I'm a bit cold now with all the holes. But yeah, we surfed. We had some absolutely epic waves. The kids got some really good, nice long right-handers, and we basically, you know, I always have this problem when I surf in the morning. Like I'm there, but I'm not completely
in it yet.
Yeah, I would say I'm not tuned into like my body and what I want to do linking up is like it takes a while in the morning.
It's a bit like sometimes you're there, you're paddling in, and you go, I don't even think I've got a pop up in me. Like when was the last time I even did that? Literally,
that's what I was doing. So I was doing stuff like I'm taking off, and then I would just be like falling off on the takeoff, and just be like, oh, come on now, come on. So anyway, Jowan went to me. We'd already had a fun surf. I'd already had some really nice waves, and Jowan was like, oh, I think it's done, and we're like, yeah, we'll get one more in. Kids, we're like, one more to the kids, right? So they got a wave all the way into the beach, and then I took off on a big set, lovely wedge, but it was kind of closing out, but it just created this
lip to smash,
just a massive section.
Nice.
And just like really instinctively, just sort of kind of one pump down to the bottom, like really raked in the bottom turn. I just absolutely smacked it, projected me all the way into flats, and I sort of air landed, like I let out a scream. I was fucking like, wow, that turn was mental. Jackson saw it for the beach, which I was really happy with, and then one of the lads out in the water saw it as well, and I was like, right, we're surfing now. And we had another run on this bank, but just then I feel like me personally, I was sort of more connected, and I just had some good ones then, you know, where I was linking a couple together, and man, I keep saying it, but that doofer is just, that has unlocked something in me.
Yeah.
And I actually really believe this. You go through, you know, every surfer watching this is going to know what I mean. You don't get better and better and better and better and better at surfing. You go like this constantly, and your only hope is that you kind of going up and down as
gradually
the main trajectory is firing up, and sometimes you'll gradually go down
and manage to decline.
Yeah, and then the worst thing in surfing, because it gives you nothing to aim for, is that plateau, that potential bottom of the mill, you know, of the curve, whether that be at the top or at the bottom. It's like this bit where you're like, okay, and surfing can start just becoming the activity rather than this special kind of
journey
thing that it is. Yeah, and I've been on mid-lengths so for years, and I started off on shortboards, and mid-lengths taught me that I didn't need to be as frustrated as I was with surfing, and it took away a lot of expectation, and it grew me. It grew my confidence in better surf. It grew the timing, the patience. But then what happens is you take out a mid-length in certain waves. One of them is small waves. I think that we don't talk enough about how mid-lengths don't really allow you to surf small waves aggressively.
Well, they don't fit.
Yeah.
They're too big.
So you're catching a wave, and that's not a lie. You're going to catch loads of waves on mid-length in really small surf. But are you going to really be able to, you know...
Yeah, like keep it in the pocket, go vertical, like on a small wave, because it's just too big.
So I feel like when you get to the stage where it's pumping, you take your mid-length in, and you've got nothing but confidence, and you have really, really fun surfs, but you have that inkling of, I can do more, then you can. And that's a fucking, you know, that's a degree in itself. That is years, potentially months or years of training and homework and highs and lows within that mid-length cycle. You get to that point where you're like, I need a smaller board. I got there and would dip the toe and then go, no, need some more confidence, back on the mid-length, and finally one of those like click moments is, I always loved the doofer. Even before I started mid-lengths, my doofer was like my safest shortboard, because I guess it was giving me mid-length vibes before I had mid-lengths, i.e. easy paddling. And I thought, why aren't I just concentrating the doofer more on like the foils and the stability of the mid-length? But then I can fine-tune the outlines, and I can fine-tune the overall shape to be a bit more performancey. Yeah. So I made this board, and it's just been like, you know, maybe if you're a really good shaper, this happens all the time, but this is not. This happens rarely for me, where I just knew that was the thing. It wasn't a pleasant surprise after trying it. It wasn't something that I worked on and like tweaked here and there and finally got somewhere where I was happy. And then it was like, I knew the moment that ball was under my arm in the shaping bay, this is just it. And I've just had really good surfs on it. It's weird because I've had people saying to me, like stuff that, you know, that I think this is a really nice thing to say to someone, like, oh, hi, I've noticed that you're surfing really good at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, as an average surfer, yeah.
It's like, thank you, free board.
But as a, you know, my really good is not impressive. So for them to just feel the need to say that to me, I'm obviously going in that direction, and my mates have been saying it, and then a couple of random people at the weekend said it, and I was like, wow, that's sick. And I've got to just give credit to that doofer, because I can catch.
Isn't that a bit like you giving credit to yourself but through the back door?
Yeah. Maybe I'm proud. I'm proud.
Good for you.
Yeah.
No.
I am. I'm massively proud of that board and what I'm unlocking with it.
Yeah.
And like you guys seen it. I was surfing that night with Jackson.
Yeah.
I'm surfing waves this big. Even in my heat in the interclubs, I'm surfing waves that big on it. I can catch them. I mean, I'm not setting the world alight, admittedly, but I never would be anyway in small waves. But then we went out when it was a bit too big for the bank the other day. I could catch anything I was looking at. So it's like it is giving me, now I'm when we're talking about the boards that we're taking for France, I'm so stoked. I'm going to take 6.0 doofer. I'm going to take a 6.6 BP round, and just because Jowan said there's a swell on the first couple of days, I'm going to take my Fistral step up, my 6.8. Like, I am.
It's weird.
That feels good.
It's weird, and Joe, you might want to edit this out, but this is like more kind of a bit of psychoanalysis on you. But I reckon, like, since we've been doing this, like the board meetings, this platform, you putting yourself increasingly out there, it's made you kind of go like, who am I putting myself, like it's made you kind of almost like reflect harder or go harder in terms of like who you want to be, how you want to be going about it. And it's like, and I can feel the froth growing in you, and you like committing to your surfing more and like kind of spending more time in terms of how I want to improve. And then it's like, this is kind of like one of those moments where you go, I can be that guy that I want to be, like that's ripping on a shortboard, that's kind of there like shaping amazing boards or what have you. And it's like, it feels like everything's kind of coming together in that, and you can see it in your surfing, definitely.
I
the
do
confidence
think
and the aggression. Like,
yeah, if we're being completely vulnerable right now, I feel like I have spent a career of making surfboards for other people.
Yeah.
And I do make boards for myself, but the boards I make for myself is like making food for yourself when no one's around, beans on toast, get the job done. But I'm actually like making some. You're
going cordon bleu shit with yourself.
I'm searing the steak,
Literally.
like I'm getting
posh wags.
And that feels good. It does feel good, and I'm really hopeful that it's translating into other people's boards as well. But yeah, for sure. I something that golf taught me is that I can be good at stuff if I concentrate on it. Yeah. I am not a golfer. There is nothing in me that's natural about golf. But I got down to scratch because that was my goal. And now I thought to myself, I think I said it to you the other day, Joe, and I was like, I might just try and put that energy into my surfing. Yeah. Who cares? I'm old. Whatever. I don't really care if I get good. I don't have and lucky for me, in a way, surfing, there isn't a scratch.
Yeah.
So at least I don't have a goal, because what happened when I got to my goal at golf just disappeared for me. I'm like, I don't like golf.
Yeah. You'll never really get there with surfing. That's like what you just go spend the rest of your life on, plugging away.
But I am happy to just put myself out there. Like, and do you know what's been really weird? Is since I've changed that mentality, all of a sudden I get messages from people saying, "Oh, I got this photo of you," or "I got this video clip of you," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll stick that out there."
Fair play.
Yeah, that'll do. I'm happy. So yeah, it's been it's. The doofer has certainly, whether it's an up or a down, it's definitely a point where shit is changing for me, and it's all really exciting in my own surfing. And this could be a part of it, just talking more. Yeah. But I think Jackson surfing so much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now he's at a level where he's going with you everywhere, like, and you're not having to nurse him or handicap your own surfing to be like, you're out there and he's there with you. Like.
And he is giving me these like constant, like, just chill moments where we were surfing on, so customary for a surf trip is celebrating your day, isn't it? Beers. Yeah. Let's be honest. We're not all going down. This is just the surfing way. It is how do you maintain that crazy high that you can't explain? You talk about it. And that usually comes with social activities, which is eating and drinking. And we were at the pub after some good surfs and doing the first round of the Interclubs on the weekend, and I remember sitting at the pub, and you went off for dinner, you went off to do the you were talking about going off to that party, and I was like, I just want to go surf. I don't want to keep drinking beers, I want to go surf. And Jackson was like, yep, so do I. And we went in, and I spent the first hour just pushing the kids in, like all the kids that are in there, just like shouting them into waves, and just like there was a couple of my mates' kids in there, and they were just having the best time. And Jackson took off on a right on the other side of the beach, just beautifully, fluidly, just pumped along to the end section, completely disappeared on the bottom turn because I'm watching from the back. Came out, attacked this end section, fins out, slid it back down into a layback, and just stood back up. Then I saw him look for me before and then there was waves in between us, and I couldn't see, and you could just feel it. And his tiny little smile all the way from over there, I was like, oh my God, it was the best feeling. I was so stoked. And I can also then think about me doing that turn as well. And it's just surfing's epic. It's such a mental thing. I'm like, even just getting chills thinking about it now. It's been really good. And I'm fully gushing, but Jackson's board was... You remember what I was like with Grom boards with Jensen? Yeah. And you showed me something that I'm not good at, Like, oh my God, I can't make... I don't know. I can hash out a little board, but do I really understand it like I understand other boards? Do I understand the ratios and the
biomechanics of
the line of progression, even, and can I really you know, I can intuitively put the design in practice, but I also need to understand it by maths. And I think with Grom boards, I overlooked my son as a muse. He's just so happy go look, like I'll give him a door and he will surf for hours and just be stoked. And I think I put that into other kids. And one thing I realised is like those kids, they don't want to, you know, I didn't have the right kids in line who would be like, they didn't feel any value in being part of that with me. They just wanted a good surfboard. They weren't willing to like try this, try that. Let's aim on this for your turn and this and that. But Jackson was there the whole time, just being like, yo, I'll do it. And now mate, that board went so good. He can catch anything. He's so much more comfortable than all those other kids up to sort of the age of like 14, 15 in big waves. He's got his own little goals. He's learning what the boards are doing. He also has a vision of what he wants his boards to feel like and act like that he's growing with, and it's helping me so much. And now I've started to see that kind of pure form added back into the customs where I'm making kids boards for his mates, and they're like, you then hearing that kid started to rip, and I'm like, yes. And I haven't just made you a little board there. I've understood everything I've done, and I'm like developing it, and it was almost like a little mini golf thing within shaping, and that's just given me a whole new lease of life as well. Man, this feels like a blooming Luke Hart interview.
It's Chris to get it out.
But it's been sick. I'm just there.
I think because this weekend had a feeling of culmination of shit, didn't it? And then you've got the trip coming up next week, and it just feels like kind of, okay, yeah, I get it.
I'm so glad you were a part of that as well, because you like we've been doing that. Like when we're fucking off trying to do filming, and you get stuck here, and we're like, come, that's the vibes. Yeah. Like you saw it that weekend. That was the vibes. That's the vibes when you go up to do a swell, and it's you know, it's this special part of surfing that you can it's always there for you. That so if you ever do get stuck in a kind of a personal space with surfing where you know, then there are plateaus. There is so much more of it to look at. You know, like the potential to get that good bank, or the risk that didn't pay off. Yeah. How much better it makes the risk that did pay off. You know, like all of those things in surfing. But yeah, this weekend was just you can't help but just be stoked to be a part of it, can you? So I keep forgetting we've got a camera on. We're talking about the Interclubs, which is Surfing England event where any surf club in England, can join into and it's a team event. So Newquay Board Riders puts a team in, and you get a team of open surfers.
6 guys.
6 guys, 4 girls?
4 women, I think.
4 girls and 4 juniors.
I think so, yeah.
And you compete against all the other clubs that have done the same. And you see everyone ripping in all different, like, oh, I've never seen that kid, and he's just shredding. Then you'll get like, he used to be good in the 90s or whatever, and he's still surfing, he's still ripping, and you're like, and then you see like the up and comers who are, you know, the juniors who are also in the open team, just absolutely slaying. Lots of positive energy. And then to top it off, obviously you boys, well, Newquay just
smashed it.
We won every single category. Yeah. I think the men had a perfect score, the women were 4 points off a perfect score, and the juniors were 2 points off out of 80 points as well. It was like,
that's how we do shit, right?
Yeah. And I it was sick, yeah. And the B team, I was in the B team, and we did alright. We placed 5th overall. I was pretty stoked with that, because I obviously would have got better if me and Jowan actually had our thing. But it did. So we should explain as well. Yeah. I don't want to make a big thing of this. I've heard loads of it online. The comp got cut short because there was so much rainfall that there was a overflow release of sewage on the beach, and the council made the lifeguards red flag it, which meant the insurance for Surf England was invalid, so they had to close the competition whilst the kids had already ran, which is the ones you don't want going in. Then the women had already ran. There was only the men left to run, so I think they thought there was enough points collated to get an eventual winner. And it was like a slightly bad end to it all.
Epic weekend.
Yeah, and it does highlight a problem we have on our beaches, but you know, we are all the ones who are shitting and pissing in toilets.
Well, can I have a little moment?
Yeah, because you know more stuff about this. Yeah.
This is something that is very kind of close to my heart. I've kind of worked on it and around it for a few years. almost like on an amateur level, but like obviously worked with the Cornwall Wildlife Trust, and it's something that I've flagged with them, I've talked about, and I crunched a load of the numbers. And weirdly, we were talking about it the night before the Sunday happened, because I flagged it, and we didn't really go into any depth of it. I was just like, this is a kind of an issue.
No, and you said it happened down there as well.
Yeah, so
it's like one of the worst places for it.
So yeah, so this is one
Isn't that weird? Is that why? No, it's not, is it? Sorry. I was just about to say, because that's where Surfers Against Sewage
started.
Chris Hines lives in Port Town.
Yeah, he's Port Town boy.
But I think that's just
coincidence. But like, so I think, and Aggie, but yeah, Surfers Against Sewage did start there, and so this is actually, I put together an opposition towards a planning permission that was for a bunch of holiday homes that were going Port Town, and I just listed some of the facts during this, and it kind of is a cornerstone of the challenge. And it's not just Port Town, this is a challenge that faces pretty much every beach in the UK. So when the sewage plant was installed in Port Town, this was in 1999, and the population was around 700, about just over 700. Population of Port Town is nearer 900 now, so it's like it's around a 30% growth in that population. So that's quite a large growth. And that sewage system was, like I said, is now at 30% greater capacity. What's also happened is you've got a lot more tarmacking of valleys and what have you, so the water runoff is like coming much quicker. So when we get rain like we had Sunday morning, it just goes straight into the system.
Lots of paved driveways.
Yeah, literally. And so you do get this kind of like overwhelming of the systems. Now the result of this is that last year, and they don't have the records for this year yet, that will be published at the end of the year, but for 2024, there were 44 separate discharges in Port Town. So 44 times they opened up the sewage and they emptied sort of like the overflow onto the beach. That was a total of, I think, around 645 hours that it was discharging. Last year was a record. It was the highest amount on record that we had sewage discharging into Port Town like beach. And part of my reason for opposing like 18 more holiday villas was like kind of, you think this is benefiting, but it's continually overloading, overstressing. Now, Port Town's a blue flag beach. It's at the centre of that whole community, that culture there at Port Town, like kind of, and the more that beach gets, literally, like there's very few places I think that are so kind of orientated around the beach being at the heart of
the
like,
beach.
it literally, that's what it is. And so I do think that we are threatened by this challenge. Now, I know Carve Mag were really vociferous about it, and a lot of the anger, and rightly so to a degree, is directed at South West Water for their underinvestment over the years. But I just want to put some perspective on this problem, basically. So one of the things that I did was I researched how much it would cost to upgrade like Port Town sewage works. And that includes like installing a new storm overflow, in putting like UV sterilisation in. It means putting like solid filtration and certain filters that allow you to separate, so when you do have to do it. So there's lots of things you can do. I did these costs based on what I thought roughly the volumetric requirements were for Port Town and a size of that basically. And you're kind of looking at somewhere between kind of, I think it was sort of between 4 to 10 million to overhaul Port Town. And that's for a population of 900 people basically. Now, South West Water looks after around 1.6 million people. So if you took the amount of money that's required to service 900 people in Port Town and you scaled that up basically, South West Water need to invest sort of somewhere between 7 to 18 billion to overhaul the kind of like the system basically. Now, a lot of people are complaining that the reason why we haven't got this investment is because they've paid dividends and bonuses and what have you. The reality is that like altogether for CEOs for South West Water over the last 10 years comes to around 4 million basically. Bearing in mind we need like somewhere between 7 to 18 billion. So 4 million on bonuses. So that doesn't even register basically in terms of solving the problem.
It's just a cheap dig.
It's a cheap dig. I think it's a relevant cheap dig because it shows the morality and the agenda of the people that are supposed to be sorting this. When you look at the dividends payments to the shareholders, which is Penn Limited, who own a number of the water companies in the southwest, over the last 10 years, added all together, you're looking probably about 1 billion in terms of dividend payments, which again is a huge amount of money that's been taken out that could have been reinvested. But when you consider,
can I just interject real quick? So if for example you invested 1 billion, would it not make a difference?
It would make some difference. Obviously, it's a lot of money that you've invested in the system, but to potentially overhaul the water system so that it's fit for purpose in terms of the population growth, in terms of the climatic sort of the weather systems that we're now getting. Bearing in mind we need somewhere like 7 to 18 billion, and if you took all the dividends away and all the bonuses away and invested that in the system, it's going to take somewhere between 70 to 180 years using that money to invest to like overhaul the system basically.
So we need another way.
That's the
but
point.
why can't they just use that money to do one beach at a time? It's better than
Yeah,
not doing
even if they did it one beach at a time, you're still
Yeah.
looking at 70 to 180 years to solve the
But
problem.
that's still better than not doing anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What about diversion whilst you're waiting that year? So, for example, rather than discharging onto a beach via a
So
stream,
storm overflows is it?
a
Yeah.
just a mile out concrete.
So that's
Right.
called a storm overflow container, which you have to do. So if you just did that, like Porth Tower, and it's somewhere between 1 to 3.5 million to install that for that. So it's still a substantial amount of money. And yes, and this is where the kind of like the bonuses and the dividends does come into the equation, because the reality is we have a huge problem that needs solving. And then the question goes, well, who are the people to solve that? And blatantly, it's not these people, it's not this system, because they're not putting any of that, or haven't been putting any of that money to even try and tackle the problem. It's been going into pockets.
They're just
basically.
sucking the tit, aren't
Yeah,
they?
literally.
Yeah.
And to be fair, back in, I think we privatised our water back in '89, like, and I think back in, was it, 2021, they tried to put like stricter laws in around like overflow, what have you, and like 265 Tory MPs voted against it. It's like, it's not like we are creating the like legal or cultural environment around where they can't suck that tit and make the most of it. And it's like, you know, human behaviour has told us they're just doing what every other kind of like capitalist exactly.
I always thought that this is why I don't like labels, because I'm instantly saying this scared to be labelled, because I don't believe I'm a socialist. I like to pluck good things from socialism and good things from capitalism and all of these things where the pure intent is basically so everyone's survival is just a little bit nicer, you know, for want of a better term. Like, why not make profit on necessities illegal? Because you're not saying South West Water, you're not allowed to suck this tit anymore. You're like, you want to suck the tit, tell us what we're getting back for it. And then they're going to tell us, and whoever's got the best idea is going to get the role, the tender to and you can call it private, you can call it state, because the state's up giving you the rules, whatever you want to call it. It's always going to take money that we didn't have and someone benefiting, but they can then just say, this is how much money we want to take to do it. This is the profit that we want to put inside this package. If you did that on agriculture, water, I'm not sure on housing. I haven't thought about this hugely deeply, but it seems to me a crazy thing that it seems to me I can't understand how it could feel good deep down to someone who's profiting from a broken system. There must be anxiety, there must be pressure, there must be...
So Davey, the CEO, she's waived her bonus like last year on the count that like the company's done a shit job in terms of filling that. And the bonus was...
Public pressure, probably.
Well, so hear this out, 240 grand, was her bonus that she waived. Interestingly, the next year she got a 300 grand pay rise. So like which gives you an idea of some of the agenda.
Then, that's what I'm saying. Like what I don't want to do personally is I can see lots of people being wrong, right?
Yeah.
And I can see lots of people being wrong, being net negative.
Yeah.
Right? And I could tell them what they're doing is wrong, and I could fight them, right? But I am then going to spend all my energy
not finding a
fighting
solution.
That. I'd rather just say, hey, do you want to be a megalomaniacal, power tripping, whatever? You can do it, but I am coming to fight you if you take more than this.
Yeah.
That way, you know how much water costs for everyone.
So, and I've reflected this, and I've talked to certain people in certain institutions around which could do this. I mean, you know, SES have been fighting it for a while, but like on their watch, on their home turf, like it's never been as bad. So I think that whole kind of like...
You know my feelings on the charities.
Putting money into political pressure is not... It needs to be like at a kind of almost community level, like activism.
Is it not the same thing? Yeah, it's like paying for activism. Like, you work for SES, you get a fixed salary, is it not exactly the same thing
Yeah,
as working for South West Water?
exploiting the system based on that.
Kind of, and I know that there's going to be people in there with really good intent, so I don't want to shit on, and activism gets you plenty of places, and
we're not likening South West Water, like the lack of investment in what they've done.
No, but I'm just like, are they really making a difference? But what direction can they make a difference?
So I think, interestingly, South West Water did fund a project with Cornwall Wildlife Trust called Upstream Thinking, in which hundreds of thousands were put a year, which actually looked at how you control effluent and runoff that was coming from farmland into waters and what have you. And it's a small element, a lot of learning in terms of how do you create landscapes and systems that do start to slow down the amount of water runoff that's coming. I personally, I think it has to be through a million little contributions that are spread out. So like these holiday homes that have gone up in Porth Tower or are gonna have just got planning permission, like another 18 on another 30 that they put through, which aren't residential, affordable housing, it's just people capitalising on the land and as a result negatively impacting. But there should have been a tax. There was no consideration that you're putting these in, you're adding more pressure on the sewage plant, there needs to be a little bit of a tax there. Everything that kind of like the businesses that like make a living from that beach and that lifestyle need to add a little tax. The community surfers, I wouldn't mind if
what
you said...
specific tax?
Yeah, that goes literally, you put a pole that doesn't go through third people and is out there to exploit. It's actually going, we will manage our water system, we'll compile money, and South West Water, you match us 50-50. If we can raise it, if it meant me not drinking 2 pints extra a month, which is like 15 quid, and each month I put 15 quid in as a surfer to investing in my water system, I would be happy to do that. And
this is where humanity always falls short. It's like, yeah, we want a really eco-friendly board. Oh, but that one's yellow. I want a white board. You know, oh, you can use all this runoff water just in the in your toilet in your home, but then my toilet smells. You know, like there's always some reason why you just can't get over that edge. And then I was thinking about this today. This is quite a crazy convo, isn't it? So tax.
Yeah.
If you said I get paid £1,000 and then I have to give the government 20%, so I get £800, and then I spend 80% of, in fact no, I spend 100% of it because realistically over 90% of people are living hand to mouth. How much of that money is regenerated back into the tax programme?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, it's crazy. You're like well over 60% of your money is tax, just straight away. It's a cyclical system, and out of that money, out of this tax, there's lots of people taking profit, which means they're not using that money to benefit all of these people. Yeah. They're sliding it in here. Then they're on a bigger scale borrowing money and creating money, which causes inflation and
anybody who's on a mortgage,
interest, which is then the next rung of people taking profit out of those things. So how much of our money is actually, so bottom line is you don't need to be a very good mathematician or this crazy economist or Mother Teresa to realise we just got to change, just stop fucking making profit. It's not benefiting anyone. There's not anyone, what would you rather be, the king of a pile of shit or the people living in an amazing country?
This is
eventually there's going to be just fire and destruction around a mansion, and that inside that mansion you'll be alright. People are going to be trying to get in constantly, so just stop taking fucking money, putting it in dead places so you're safe, and just regenerate it into a better life for everyone. There's so many ways we can do it. That's why I hate this green shit. We've taken sustainability and eco-friendly stuff and we've just straight away just turned it into a business. How do we get this government pot of money so that we'll be all right for a bit, and then we'll just say stuff about green. There's so much shit we could do that actually would make a difference, but in that meantime, if the people up top aren't careful, we're going to end up having nowhere to go but to fight them. And then everyone's life is shit. Because fighting, if all you ever do is fight, that's shit, isn't it?
We've gone from the sewage outburst on Sunday to sorting out the fucking world's problems, basically.
But it all stems from one person feeling like if I get the cake and eat it, I'll feel better about it. And it's just a level up, a level up, a level up, a level up, a level up. We're all doing the same thing. So the basic raw needs of humanity if you just cut the profit out of it, I'm sure everything could sit back into the same hierarchical structure of consumerism and capitalism. But
I think that
instead
profit,
of money going into, like other business that's, I mean, it's basically dormant money, isn't it? Asset hoarding, essentially.
Yeah. But I think in a nutshell, where I'm at, which kind of ties in what you're saying, is that
bring it back, because I've gone.
If you get a level of local ownership and responsibility of the project, the people that are dealing with the money or managing the situation have a strong sense of local connection, and it isn't somebody that's sat next to it. It's much easier to take money from somebody if you don't have to look them in the eye every fucking day. It's that sense of that you're putting in, the money is accounted for, and if South West Water funded and facilitated and supported that, it shares the burden, shares the load, but it does require a kind of a new form of infrastructure or institution around how we manage our water systems and invest in them, because it's a 70 to 180 year project depending on what level of investment you need, and that's just in the southwest.
And if we'd have started it 20 years ago and got to this point now, I would have beat Jowan in a heat.
Well, and this is it, because that's what the listeners don't understand is, and I'd like just to wrap this up, just before the competition was called off, I'd gone to meet you, and we had surfed all morning.
Yep.
And the last thing you wanted to do was get back in the water and compete in your heat. And it just so happened that this heat was you versus Jowan, basically. He wasn't scared. I could just see he was cold, he was miserable. He's like, I've been in these clothes all week now, basically. My shoulder, I'm aching from yesterday because he surfed twice times. And he wasn't even, it was 20 minutes to go, he's not even in his wetsuit, we're on the beach. We're there, and this guy starts talking about the thing. In the meantime, you literally not walking but skipping, skipping. You are so buzzed for this competition, basically.
No, I just want to let the record be clear. I wanted to do the heat. I was excited for it. It was just we surfed for way too long.
Yeah.
And
it was big, and it was sapping energy.
It was sapping, yeah. It was you're on the inside, and you had to work to get out, didn't you? Constantly, and then I wanted to heat, and it's such a shame that this to me, I just was making the point earlier, it didn't ruin the weekend.
No,
but it's a fact that it happened, and there could be a world where it didn't. Yeah. Is slightly annoying.
And it would have been the biggest heat in surfing this year, you two versus each other, and because literally I'd rearranged my whole roast dinner so I could come down and film and get this.
He was going to film it so we could do the video of it.
It's
so funny because there's not one part of me that thought I was going to beat Jowan in that heat, but I still.
But there was the chance. There was the chance, and so long as there was a chance.
He was like, he's got a bad back, and I was like, you've got a bad back. Yeah.
Because that would have made the greatest board meeting the next day if you'd beaten Joe. You would have come to work. I think we wouldn't have seen you again.
I don't think you would have.
Secretly, in my own mind, why I didn't get out to see quicker on that free surf is because I wanted one wave that I'd have been happy with in a comp.
Yeah, just to get you mentally there.
And I couldn't get it. I still had loads of fun, but just stringing an actual wave together is what good surfers do.
You were surfing in a conservative way, because in your head you go, I've got a comp later.
Well, that's why I didn't paddle all the way down, because I was like, God, he's gone way down there, and I don't want to waste my energy. I kept on seeing that right hander popping up, but then
it was a bomb, that right hander.
Yeah, but I kept on seeing. I was like, he's finding it very hard to sit on that right hander.
Oh yeah, because the rips and everything. Yeah. It was constant.
And I'm basically having the same problem where I was sat. So, it was, mate. However it went, I'd happily took fourth in the heat, first in the heat, not done the heat. Whatever, got a good wave. The weekend felt magic, and I would love the one of the funniest things about activism, and I want to shit on South West Water before I shit on any sort of activist, but excuse me, mate, tell me what I can do, and what usually an activist will tell you is be an activist.
Yeah.
But no, what can I do? How about if I take one less shit? What about if I shit in my garden? What about if everyone, one day a year, all just shits on their flower bed?
Yeah. Do you know what?
That's crazy. I know that's mental, and obviously I'm not saying we should all shit on our flower bed, but
well, composting toilets would go a long way to it.
Yes, I know.
Or we'll just get a composting toilet. They smell funny.
No. But I need to feel less righteous about shitting in my garden and more about just saying
your garden's up on a Sunday morning, watering the plants, morning, you're morning.
What is shit?
Yeah, like
It's compost.
literally.
It's fertilizer.
Well, you know, there is companies, I know in Africa, there's a very successful company that rents out portaloos around the area and collects all the human feces, because it's so nitrogen rich, like human shit is actually really good fertilizer basically, but you have to dry it and treat it in the right way. But its whole business is based on renting out toilets, collecting human shit, and then using that nitrogen as fertilizer. Yeah, all that. Like,
Well, it's funny, isn't it, that I'd rather a cow shit on my food than a human shit on my food, and I'd rather drink a glass of cow milk than human milk. But it's like,
what's human milk? Oh, like breast milk.
yeah, like if I goes, do you want breast milk in your? What do you want? Oat milk, cow's milk, or breast milk in your coffee?
Yeah.
You're going to be like, what? That's weird.
Breast milk every time.
But like, our minds are so skewed, aren't they? That like we
Yeah.
wouldn't use human fertilizer if we could absolutely help it.
Yeah.
But it probably would go quite a ways to getting
It's
rid
like
of it.
back in
Ugh.
like 100
God.
years ago, they used to collect Newcastle. They used to collect all the piss in Newcastle, and they used to use the ammonia out of it for the dyeing industry.
Are you joking?
No, seriously. So, like Newcastle piss, one of their
No
industries
way.
was the ammonia in human piss, and they used to collect it all and use it for like dye fixing in the textile industry. That was a thing. Oh, literally, we throw away our waste now because we think it's waste. But there's so like shit is just like complete nitrogen source, like, and piss is a complete ammonia source. And like, ammonia is like, you know, it's used for shitloads of stuff.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy argument, isn't it? So is change progression?
Well,
Or are we just
what you
changing?
could argue is every wastewater treatment plant is actually a rich source of materials that could be used for something else. So South Water should get into the fertilising business.
Yeah.
There we go.
They're a private company.
But just to wrap that up, I do think
Come on.
part of like all of that shit I've got into and like the conversations
No
that
pun
we're having
intended.
now, yeah, literally.
We made surfboards.
If we could make foam out of shit, like,
No one would have it. It's brown.
yeah, what's it, polyona?
Yeah.
What's the fucking But it is asking that question: what do we do it? And then bit by bit going, well, let's change one thing. Let's be proactive in terms of finding a solution to that, like kind of, and bit by bit, because it'd be nice to think in our lifetime. And incidentally, the government has set a target, I think within 20 years, the target discharge rate is 10 a year. So they have to get it down. So like these structures are being put in place.
Yeah, but they're
it's
probably cloud seeding, so there's no rain coming from
yeah, I know.
We're so skewed.
I know.
We're so skewed. Polyola blanks is a brilliant example of how our minds are skewed. So take waste,
Yeah,
pile it up,
yeah.
bag it, ship it to a place who will use that stuff to create a new blank in exactly the same way they would create a new blank from new chemicals,
Yeah.
and then ship it back to you. How's that better than just not taking new chemicals?
Yeah, it's
I mean, it's like, okay, there's not, yeah, we haven't burnt the waste or whatever, but you eventually it's gonna, and you've shipped it there, shipped it back. There's all this, what do they call it when something's vast but there's not a lot of weight to it? Volumetric shipping. It's like the worst thing for the industry because you fill a whole lorry up with something super, super light. It's like the worst.
Do you
way
remember it was
to
Jeff McCallum
transport.
who was telling that he was having real trouble with like the environmental agency in the States because of the VOC output of the resins that he was using, and the person that came to tell him that
it's
drove
like
down
V6
in like
truck.
a kind of like a classic sort of like V8 6-litre truck.
Yeah.
And we calculated it had created like more emissions in that single journey to tell him he had a VOC problem than a year of his like fucking VOC output, like from just these chemicals that he was kind of.
I remember looking. I'll get this wrong, but someone was telling me about eco-friendly boards and stuff, and I was saying you just need to buy less boards and make a board last longer, and then just ride your bike to your local beach. Don't go on holiday. But like. Culture shock for all surfers because it's all about travel and experience.
I need to go to India and find myself.
And new boards give you new lease of life. We just spoke about that, and there was something crazy like the potentiality of waste and emissions from the surf industry was less than like 5% of the button industry. I think it was in India. Plastic buttons.
Yeah.
That's how many buttons the globe uses. So like buttons are worse, like astronomically.
20 times worse.
Yeah. Just buttons, not the then polyester jumper it's going on. It's like, it's crazy. And I'm not saying that means we shouldn't be thinking about it in surfing, but we definitely shouldn't be using the example to be green as another way of generating more business. Like, actually make a difference, or just shut the fuck up, because there's so much of this like going down which absolutely kills me, and that's why that wooden board is just.
We should probably get that.
That's what I see when I see that wooden board. I see all of that I've just said. It kills me.
It's the performance of being something when actually you're not that at all, mate.
Yeah, you're not. You're not. You've just like, there's companies now, right? Loads of companies over the last 15 years that have accessed pots of money from government grants from the EU that have funded that company for over 5 years at a time that don't have to make profit. So they just get the pot and suddenly they're a company. Then they recycle stuff. But like, what they're actually doing is just taking loads of money, keeping it on their wage and wasting their time in their job. There are obviously other ones that have done amazing things as well, but there's most of it is just, what do they call it?
Greenwashing?
Greenwashing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, if we get that fund, for 5 years we're going to get paid 50 grand a year. It doesn't matter if we sell anything or don't sell anything, and then all we have to do is every product has to be recycled.
It doesn't actually solve anything, it's just to be seen to be pretending to solve
It's not solving
something.
anything. An argument is it's creating more of the same thing that we're doing.
But,
Let's get back to surfing, because otherwise no one's watching this. No one is watching this. God, I wouldn't even edit it, mate. I would literally just put this out and just say, we're sorry. We're so sorry. We obviously feel the strength we feel about certain things should be out there. That's what we're kind of doing, isn't it?
And it was like you said, it didn't ruin the whole weekend, but it was just a bit of a sour note to finish it. I think you could tell that the Surfing England team were pretty pissed off with it. They were just ashamed.
I felt for them. I feel like Surf England, what they do is really good, and the moment they do something bad, we're all just there as like a parent of a grom or as another surfer to just say that you've done something wrong. I feel quite bad for them. So,
but it was a good weekend, and it gone really smoothly, and there was so much stoke. Just everybody was just buzzed because of like the waves, the weather, like.
And that always happens in the grom comps as well, and it's something that people like. Because Surf England, I've spoke about the groms getting in the comps. It's flipping nightmare. So like my friend from Wales, he has 2 kids in 2 different age groups of surfing, and every comp they both enter the comp, and every single comp one of them gets in, the other one doesn't. And he's like, how am I supposed to organise? He's like, they all talk about how much money it takes to organise an event. What about all the money it takes me to go to the event? And what about the other parents and all that? It's like everyone's doing the same thing collectively to make the event. So maybe don't put one brother in and not the other. Little things like that. Is there a way? Is there a way you can iron out these little problems? So they're always going to be up against something that isn't perfect. But for the most part, it was sick.
Yeah.
It was sick. I thought the judging in my heat was terrible. But I did beat some geezer who everyone said was good, so I was happy with that.
Yeah.
But
Shout out to PT as well.
What did they get?
No, just Port Town the beach.
Oh, the
like,
place.
Kind of like,
what a place to host it. The amount of times I heard a lot of the Nuki lot and other people say that we're actually fuck having this official next year. It's sick going out.
Good place to do it.
Going to a different.
And I felt so proud of it being like hometown and home beach and kind of like.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
really
I did as well. I actually made a joke on someone asked me to do a live on the update, and I made a joke about this is why it should have been at Fistral, because the politics of it not being at Fistral when they took it to the wave.
Yeah.
Usually the winner hosts.
Yes.
And this isn't just a tooting of horns, but Nuki win it every single time they've ever entered. I don't think they've ever lost it if they've entered the comp.
Yeah.
But sometimes it goes to other places because Nuki will be like, oh yeah, you lot host it, or whatever, or like someone says, can we host it, or whatever. But for the most part, it's at Fistral quite a lot because Nuki have won it. When they said that they were doing it out of the wave without talking to Nuki first, Nuki didn't turn up to the wave one, and we ran an amazing memorial comp at Nuki, and we got pumping waves, one of the best comps I've ever been to. Like, vibe was high. Having said that, more comps at more beaches just gets more people interested. Yeah. And it was a vibe, and we got good waves. I think that, do you know what? It's funny, isn't it? We'd probably be complaining about it way more if it was 1 foot, but like we got waves.
Yeah.
So, but no, I want it to be back at Fistral next year for sure.
No, it will be good. It was a joke. It was a joke, but it was just like nice to actually go spend the weekend in a different part of Cornwall. It's actually so close.
Do you know what would be amazing is if you could do it in somewhere that definitely wouldn't have ever had a comp but would want one.
Like imagine Gwithian holding a comp there. Like,
I think Bantham would be sick.
Like Gadrevian.
Bantham's hard though because of the waves. You can get it flat, can't you?
Yeah.
I feel like Fistral or anything North Coast Cornwall is like
Sennen. Imagine that.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
That would be amazing. 2 spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you could literally have 2 like.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was only joking, and I sort of listened to myself back on that live and thought, you twat, you sound like you're not thankful for the weekend, and you thought it was hilarious that Porth Town got sewage. I didn't at all. I was just like, but yeah, right. Should we try and get on to some others? Should we just try and burn through a few things?
Mm-hmm.
So. Pro Junior in Ireland, WSL Pro Junior in Ireland, first one. They ended up not having great waves in the first couple of rounds, but they then got the peak, and it was pumping, and Dylan Dos Santos won it. Lucas came second. I actually can't remember the other 2 guys in the finals names to pronounce it, but they got it in pumping waves, and I think it's a really good measure of where European surfing at, that there is probably 6 surfers in the Pro Juniors that can win an event, maybe more, and like that will just push Lucas even further. It'll push all of them even further, but I think if Lucas was just this standalone kid, it would be slightly more expected that you could maybe rest on your laurels a little bit and just be the big fish. But like, just the fact that he's, to me, almost getting second in that event is almost better than winning it in a weird way easily, because it's like, even though he didn't win it, he's still bloody right there with all those other kids from Europe. And it just goes to show that, yeah, all round the UK guys were repping, and I don't think anyone else had that good a result out of Ireland and the UK surfers, but they can all make heats on their day, and I think a lot of them fell foul to the waves. It wasn't just the UK surfers, there was other like big names that went out in the first 2 rounds because the waves were quite hit and miss. It was like a bit of a wave catching contest. If you took off on a wave that didn't allow you to do a turn, what are you supposed to do, you know? One guy behind you gets it and heats over, sort of thing. So that was brilliant that they had that over there in Ireland, and I'm so stoked they got waves in the latter rounds, because Ireland is, to me, it's the best place in the world for waves. And doing more events there just makes sense. It's super consistent. It's got an amazing local vibe. The surfers there in Ireland are just getting better and better each year, and they're one of them, G-Man, my good mate, won the Euros. I just think, yeah, we can. It doesn't have to just be down in southwest France, European surfing. It can be up here too. So that's brilliant that event took place and got waves, and everyone was shredding. So I heard nothing but good things about that week. Fin video is out on YouTube. We did a video about fins, where they go on the board and what they do. I actually really struggled that day. I don't know why. My mind wasn't working very well. I was finding it hard to just finish sentences. So Jowan did a really good job of editing that together. And I felt when I watched it back that I could have gone into slightly more detail about what boards work really well with good fin setups, like little cheat codes for small waves, big waves. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, I think fins is massively endless, and we could do some more stuff if people are interested, because I'm not sure that video is as good a fin video as we could have done. And then it made me think more about important parts of surfboards that we don't talk about that much. Like, you always talk about what model is it, what size is it, what volume is it, but what about flex? The way the board bends is, rocker is just a fixed flex, isn't it? So if you have a flatter board and it's really bendy, when you put pressure on it off the bottom of the wave, it will curve the board more, thus giving you more rocker. So flex is really important. It's like suspension on a bike. You can't set up a road bike for mountain biking. You need that suspension. You can't set up a mountain bike for straight line speed, can you? It will lose.
You just see the cogs turning.
Yeah, so I analogies, I love them. So we're going to do a flex video, and that is going to absolutely fry my brain, but I want to get into it because I think people understanding why they would be on certain constructions, and it would also kind of shit on brands who only do a set amount of constructions and have to continuously just say this is the best thing, this is the best thing, this is the best thing, this is the best thing. It's like, no, it's not. That's why no one's surfing it when they're good. Yeah, so loads of different flexes all comes into part of a custom board or part of a board that's going to utilise your surfing. So we're going to do a video on that, haven't we, Joe?
Yeah.
Boards online?
Boards online. We're having a bit of there's been a bit of a love machine shortage of late, not just here but sort of across the UK. So
yes,
there's a load that are becoming available. We've got a couple that are going to be going live with us. We've done enough pedestrian ships. We've got a pedestrian ship there, but we've also got this rather lovely flat decked polyurethane blanks, PE blanked, 6.9 FM. The
Such a
flax
beauty.
just gives a bit, it kind of makes the PE board even smoother basically, and it just gives it a really nice kind of like aesthetic and quality that we really enjoy. So that 6.9, everyone knows about the 6.9 FM. Just brilliant mid-length for kind of UK conditions, bags of speed, looseners, fun, easy surfing. Probably our best-selling board, as well as Board Shop's best-selling board. Speaking of which, we'll be delivering a load of these bad boys in different finishes, different tints, clear to Board Shop end of the week, so that will be going live as well. So there's plenty of FMs that are going to be going online over the next week or so. We've also got a 7.8 FM that's going to be going online. I think we've even got an 8.1 second that's going to be going online as well.
Yeah, when I fix it.
Are we?
I think I need a little fix. It's the one that dropped in the shop.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah, so there'll be a steel coming up soon.
We've also got, and these are very, like you could argue these are very niche, but we've got a couple due to the challenges of cutting these bad boys. And so on a couple of occasions they were supposed to be regular, but they've ended up being goofy. So we've got a couple of, we've got a satellite and we've got a Zamball goofy asymmetrical boards that we're going to be going live, which again will be going for pretty bargain prices. So keep an eye on our in-stock section on the website there. And yeah, so I think all in all there'll probably be about like 5 or 6 boards going live. The machines going live over the course of the next sort of 2-3 days. So keep an eye out there. And we'll be posting on our Instagrams at bargain prices as always.
Bosh. And then to wrap it up, there's a Surf England Junior event at Fistral this weekend. Jackson is ready to go.
Nice.
He's fully locked in. He's got. I've actually, like I've seen, he's because he's coming out of his cage, as you know, he's really finding who he is. I think he's not scared now to just admit that he likes comps. You know, before it was like, oh, I don't like small waves, I don't like comps. No, you haven't done well in small waves and you haven't done well in comps, therefore. But now he's just attacking it and he's mad for it. He's got his new board. He's got his sort of go-to move, and he has really been putting in the work. Like that kid has been surfing in anything, you know. You know, even that day when he paddled out with you, it's just like
I was so impressed with him. I was like, they're literally just this. How old is he? 11.
Yeah, 12, just turned 12. Yeah.
But like paddle out, and we just went off the main beach right, and that can be intimidating. Just like paddling into like you can see the sets kind of like in the distance. Yeah, we're gonna go and surf that, and just like. Yeah, like I was like, shit, look at this 12-year-old, next level.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't have done it when I was 12.
No.
And then he's going to be straight into barrel boot camp next week.
Barrel boot camp, yeah. We've got him a French outfit for the trip. Yeah, so you are going to see a load of content from our French trip. We're going to probably talk about today what we're going to get out of it, but we are just going to go surf. I'm definitely getting some dad footage of the doofer. That's what I'm so desperate just to like kind of coaching / you know, down there you get to surf. It's not like trying to find a bank here and then getting one surf. You can get 3 or 4 surfs in a row with good sections and
it's going to be good. It's a good crew.
Yeah, hell of a crew.
Good forecast.
Yeah.
How's Logan getting on?
Well, that's a good point. We should talk about it. So Logan came second in his first round, so got through, but didn't really get any waves and should have won the heat. And then the second round he did last night, and he actually commanded the heat. It's a wave catching contest. He's on a long right point, and he got the waves. He got in the right place. He did all the things that he didn't do in the first heat, and I was really, really proud of him. Unfortunately, he fell on 2 waves going massive, and he got knocked out. He got 3rd or 4th, I think, in the heat. So, but he's in the repechage, and I know from talking to him last night, he's mentally in a good place. And high level surfing, that stuff happens. I mean, one of the guys did an absolutely Hail Mary air and landed it. I don't know if you saw that. I think he was the guy took off on the wrong wave basically.
Yeah, what can I do with this?
And he fucking did something with it. And then another guy just absolutely battered on his backhand.
Yeah, that backhand was.
It was good surfing, and I spoke to him and he was so disappointed in himself, like he'd fallen on these 2 waves. I said, dude, that's like you go fighting, you got to throw punches. You know, the first round he didn't throw any punches. You know, and he got through, but you know, you don't go out in the rain and not get wet, do you? That's the point. You want to. It's the chance. It's the opportunities, and falling on good waves is just a part of surfing. That's just how it is. The next heat, it's not going to happen. He's going to get his chances again. So, I think Logan's in a really good place. His boards are going really, really well. Which he's told me he's absolutely loving the boards, and I really enjoyed making those. So yeah, all in all, the GB squad are all, I think, in a pretty good place at the Worlds. Yeah, and it's kind of felt like a bit of a...
Step up, next step on for them.
No, I was going to say, like, you almost forget they're out there. Because it's like so far away and there's so much other stuff going on here, but it's happening. So tune into ISA World Surfing if you want to go and have a look at the Worlds.
He's not in again today, I don't think, Lokes, but the
I
others
think
are.
he's got a couple of breaks, isn't he? A couple of days maybe, because they've. It's so weird. They're running 2 peaks in 2 different waves, and like Logan did his second round heat before Pat had even done his first round heat, all over the show. So he might have a couple of days off even. But I think that's really good for your mind to when you've had. I think what's happened with me and Jackson call them click moments. You know where like you're kind of searching for something and all of a sudden it just goes and you're like.
Yeah, and it's never the same after.
Yeah, I think that Logan had one of those in that heat. I think he really enjoyed himself in that heat, and I think the only thing that didn't happen is he fell off. You know, like you're going to fall off on a 6-foot section trying to do a snap. You know, it's just the way things go in surfing sometimes. So I think he should be really excited for his next heat, and I think that he said a line to me last night and he's like, I'm going to go down swinging, and I was like, yes, that fires me up when people say shit like that. So yeah, all right, so good luck to all the British team out there. We're all supporting you here, watching the lives, and I think that's it. Anything else to add?
Don't think so.
No? Well, see you next week, maybe from France.
Oh shit.
Should we do one in France? Or should we get Tom to do one on his own here?
No,
I thought we could do one like Sunday Eve, just a little.
Are we here? I don't even know. No, I'm going on Sunday Eve.
Are you?
Yeah.
I thought you go Monday. Okay.
No, I'm going on Sunday Eve to get there Monday morning.
This is good quality content.
Riveting stuff. Yeah, apologies for our political rants earlier.
Your
Especially mine.
political rants.
I know, mate. Well, you know, whatever. Say it. Think it, say it. Done.
Do it.
Bye.
Cool.